In this video, I'm going to show you how to input data into an Excel sheet and then use that data to make a chart or a graph. So the first thing you want to do is obviously get your data and you want to input it into your Excel sheet. As you can see here, I put my x-axis or horizontal axis information into the A column, and then I put my y-axis information, which is our systolic and diatonic blood pressure. I'm sure it's not the right name for it, but that's what I can remember. I put that data here. The reason I did that was because whatever you put into column A is going to be on your x-axis, and everything after it in columns B and C, and so on and so forth, will be put into your y-axis, the actual values that go into your graph. Since we need this information to be on the axis, we're not going to need to select this right now. The first thing you want to do is select the information that you want to have included on the actual graph, in the bars or on the lines, which would be your y-axis information or this information. Then you're going to go to Insert. You're going to choose a type of chart: column, line, pie, sideways bar, or area, or scatter. For now, we're going to stick with column, and you want to choose any of the ones on the left. This one, or this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. For this example, I'm going to use the plain old two-dimensional column, clustered column. So as you can see, I have my systolic blood pressure here, and I have my diatonic here. However, we do not have the correct x values down here. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, which marks with first column, first row, second row, third row, and fourth row. What we want to do is we want to change it to pretend that this is row 50, 75, 100, and 25. So the first thing we want to do is click down here where it says horizontal category axis, left click that, and then right click it and click select data. And you see here it gives us our horizontal axis labels 1, 2, 3, and 4. We don't want that. Instead, we want it to be 50, 75, 100, and 25. So we're going to edit this, and then we're going to select our x-axis data. And you can tell you selected the right data because you're going to have this dashed line or dashed box around your data. And you can see it changes it automatically for you in the x-axis. And you're going to click OK. And then we're going to click OK out of this for now. We're going to need this again later on. I'm sure by now you probably want to put in a title. So you're going to go up here to Layout. And if you don't see this, make sure you've clicked on your graph or your chart. And then click Layout. And go to Chart Title. And click Above Chart. And we're going to type in our chart title. We'll make it something like blood pressure from exercise. Okay. Now we're going to probably want to put a label on the x-axis. So we're going to go to Axis Titles. We want Primary Horizontal Axis Title, because this is horizontal. We're going to want to click Title below Axis. And here, we're going to type in the title. So we're going to say this is our x values, or intensity. Intensity. And this is where you want to include the units. So watts. And then we're going to want to probably put in our y-axis label. So we're going to go to Axis Titles. This time we're going to go to Primary Vertical Axis Titles. You have many options here. You have Rotated Title, which is going to turn all the letters on its side, and you're going to read it left to right, up the chart. Vertical Title, which means you're going to read the letters, and they're going to go down in order. So it'll be, maybe it'll be like BLOODPRESSURE. Or we could do a horizontal, which is just blood pressure. For this scenario, we're going to use Rotated Title. And here we're going to type in blood pressure. And this unit is going to be millimeters per millimeters of mercury. And then the last thing we need to do for this graph, or this chart I should say, is you want to click over here on the legend. See how it says Series 1 Legend Entry or Series 2 Legend Entry. You want to change this to say systolic blood pressure and diatonic blood pressure. in order to do that, we're going to right click this again, and we're going to click select data. And you're going to recognize this screen again because we changed these values over here last time. This time, we're going to change these values because we don't want it to say series 1 or series 2. We want it to say systolic blood pressure and diatonic blood pressure. So let's start with series 1. We're going to click edit, and it's going to ask us a series name. What you want to do is, this is why we typed in these labels. You want to select systolic blood pressure. And you see the little funny box around it. You're going to click OK. And you're going to see over here, it changed it to systolic blood pressure. So we're going to do the same thing for series 2. Click edit. Choose diatonic blood pressure. Click OK. And there you go. Click OK. And then you have your chart or your graph. And you could do the same steps that you just did. However, instead of clicking on column, you can click line. And you could change it to line graph. Or you could change it to a sideways bar graph. Or you can choose it to like a 3-dimensional column graph. But for now, we're going to keep it at 2-dimensional column graph. So that is how you input data into an Excel spreadsheet, and you can put it into a graph.